My dear friends, brothers, sisters, if these words touch your heart, don't forget to subscribe and join this journey of light and purpose. Today we talk about what is the true worth of human being. Paradise, 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 yes, yes. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and wondered, who am I really? Not the name you were given, not the job you do, not the roles you play, but you, the soul behind the eyes. We live in a world that's constantly trying to tell us who we are. Society measures us by numbers, grades, salaries, likes, and followers, but none of these things define the true worth of a human being. The truth is, you are more than you think. You are not just flesh and bones, not just a name in a database, not just another face in the crowd. You are a living miracle, a creation with purpose, power, and infinite potential. Every person on this planet has a spark, a light within them that can change the world, but somewhere along the way, most people forget that light exists. They start believing the lies, that they're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. Let me tell you something straight from the heart. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your mistakes. You are not trapped by what others think of you. You are defined by what you choose to become. Every great soul that ever walked this earth, from leaders to thinkers, artists to dreamers, had one thing in common. They believed there was more to life than what they could see. They believed in themselves when no one else did, and they refused to sell their worth for cheap approval. Because here's a timeless truth. The true worth of a human being is paradise. Do not sell yourself for anything less than that. Now, paradise doesn't only mean a place beyond this world. It also represents the state of peace, purpose, and greatness that you can experience right here, right now, when you live according to your highest values, when you honor your principles, when you protect your integrity, when you give your best, even when no one is watching. That is paradise on earth, and that is where your worth truly shines. But let's be honest, it's not easy to remember your worth in a world designed to make you forget it. From the moment we're born, we are surrounded by noise, comparisons, opinions, judgments. You're told what beauty looks like, what success should mean, what happiness should feel like. And slowly, without realizing it, you start living someone else's definition of life. You start chasing things that were never meant to define you. You try to fit in, to be liked, to be accepted. And every time you compromise your truth just to belong, you sell a little piece of yourself. But here's the turning point. You can always buy yourself back. You can choose right now to stop living small. You can decide that your worth is not for sale. You can draw a line and say, no more. I'm done trading my peace for approval, my values for comfort, my purpose for popularity, because you were not made for mediocrity. You were made for magnificence. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out. You were not made to just exist. You were made to live. Look back at your life for a moment. Think of everything you've survived. Heartbreak, failure, disappointment, rejection, and yet here you are, still breathing, still trying, still believing. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's not luck, that's purpose. Every challenge you faced didn't come to destroy you. It came to build you. Every fall you've had wasn't the end. It was a chapter in your evolution. You are the evidence that resilience is real. You are the proof that no matter how many times life knocks you down, your spirit can rise again. And that rising, that unshakable will to keep going, is what makes you worthy. Because worth isn't given by people. It's revealed through purpose. Tense. It's shaped through pain. It's proven through how you rise when everything inside you says, I can't. So if you've ever felt small, remember this. Even the stars were once clouds of dust. Even diamonds were once pieces of coal under pressure. Your struggles don't define your value. They reveal it. Every obstacle you face is a mirror reflecting your inner strength. And that strength is your ticket to paradise. The paradise of peace, purpose, and self-respect. The world doesn't need more people who just exist. The world needs people who live with awareness, people who know who they are, what they stand for, and that starts with one simple realization. I am enough, and I will not sell myself for anything less than my true worth. That's the mindset that changes everything. It changes how you walk, how you talk, how you make decisions. It changes what you tolerate and what you stand for. You begin to attract better things, better people, better opportunities, better energy, because when you know your worth, you stop chasing and you start choosing, you start creating a life that feels like you. So today, right now, Make a promise to yourself. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how loud the world becomes, I will not forget who I am. I am more than my failures. I am more than my fears. I am more than my circumstances. I am a soul with purpose. I am a human being of infinite value, and I am destined for greatness. This is the beginning of your awakening, the moment you remember your worth, because the true worth of a human being is paradise. And you, my friend, were never meant to sell yourself for anything less. What gives something its worth? Think about it. A diamond has value because it's rare. Gold is precious because it's pure. And yet, there is something far more valuable than all the treasures of this world combined. You, the human being, you, the one with the ability to think, to love, to create, to dream, you are the masterpiece of creation and the most extraordinary element of existence. But somewhere along the journey of life, we forgot this truth. We started believing that our worth comes from what we have, not who we are. Society taught us that the more we own, the more valuable we become, that the number in our bank account defines our success, that the brands we wear, the cars we drive, and the houses we live in tell the world how worthy we are. But deep down, you know that's a lie, because none of these things last. The body fades, wealth changes hands, fame disappears, and when everything is stripped away, only your character remains. The true worth of a human being is not measured by possessions, but by principles. Not by status, but by spirit. Not by how much they take, but by how much they give. Every time you act with kindness, you increase your worth. Every time you choose honesty over deceit, you raise your value. Every time you help someone in need, you invest in the kind of wealth that never dies. Because real worth isn't written in numbers. It's engraved in your soul. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat alone and thought, who would I be if everything I own was gone? If your name was forgotten, your titles were taken, your achievements erased, what would remain? That question is uncomfortable, but it's powerful because it reveals the truth that your worth is not attached to anything external. Your worth is intrinsic. It was written into your existence the moment you were born. It doesn't fluctuate with failure. It doesn't increase with applause. It simply is. You are valuable because you exist, because there will never, ever be another you. Think about the human heart for a moment. It beats over 100,000 times a day. Without rest, without reminder, your lungs breathe in life every few seconds. Your mind can imagine worlds that don't yet exist. And your owl, your consciousness, allows you to love, forgive, and dream. You are not an accident. You are a miracle in motion. If the stars, galaxies, and oceans were made with purpose, how could you, the most complex creation, be without one? You were made for greatness. You were made to reflect beauty, to spread light, to carry hope. That is your true worth, but here's the tragedy. Many people trade that priceless worth for things that fade. They sell their peace for popularity. They sell their integrity for acceptance. They sell their time, the most precious currency, for meaningless pursuits. And in doing so, they forget that they are worth paradise itself. The true worth of a human being is paradise. Do not sell yourself for anything less than that. Paradise is not just a destination. It's a direction. It's the standard you live by. It's the symbol of your highest potential, the reminder that you were born for eternal greatness. When you choose truth over lies, kindness over cruelty, purpose over pleasure, you are walking toward that paradise. But when you let the world convince you that your worth depends on their approval, you start walking away from yourself. You see, every time you lower your standards, you sell a part of your soul. Every time you let someone else decide your value, you forget who you are. You are not here to impress. You are here to impact. You are not here to chase validation. You are here to create transformation. And every moment of your life is an opportunity to rise above the noise and live by your true worth. Let me share a story. There was once a teacher who held up a 100 bill and asked his students, "Who wants this?" Every hand in the room went up. He then crumpled the note, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it. Then he picked it up and asked again, "Who still wants this?" Every hand went up again. He smiled and said, "No matter what I did to this bill, it never lost its value, and so do you. You've been crumpled, stepped on, rejected, and bruised, but your worth has not changed. No failure, no rejection, no betrayal can diminish your true value, because your worth comes from within, not from what's done to you." You might have gone through storms that made you doubt yourself. You might have faced voices that told you you're not enough. You might have lost things you thought defined you, but the truth still stands. You are priceless. You are irreplaceable. You are divine art, painted with the colors of resilience, courage, and love. The universe is vast, yet it chose you to exist. That alone makes you extraordinary. So stop comparing your journey to others. Stop measuring your worth by the timeline of someone else's success. Your story is not behind. It's unfolding exactly as it should. Every delay has meaning. Every setback hides wisdom. Every pain has purpose. Because your worth is not in how fast you grow. It's in how deeply you stay true to yourself while growing. Here's the reality. The world will always try to put a price tag on you. It will try to measure you by your looks, your likes, your possessions. But the moment you let that happen, you've given away your power. You were not born to be a product of this world. You were born to be a creator in it. You were not born to be consumed. You were born to inspire. And when you realize this, you start living from a higher place. You stop chasing what fades and start building what lasts. You begin to speak truth, even when it costs you popularity. You start walking away from noise that doesn't align with your peace. You begin to protect your energy like it's treasure, because it is. When you truly know your worth, something powerful happens inside you. You stop begging for attention because you know you deserve respect. You stop explaining yourself to people who can't see your value because you understand your vision is not meant for everyone. You stop running after what's temporary because your heart is set on what's eternal. That is the mindset of someone who knows their worth. That is the posture of a soul that refuses to sell itself cheap. So let me remind you once more, in words you'll never forget. You are worth more than what the world can offer. You are worth more than likes, money, or fame. You are worth more than what people think of you. You are worth paradise. Never lower your price for a world that doesn't understand your value. Never let temporary people decide your eternal worth. Stand tall. Speak truth. Live purposefully, because the true worth of a human being is not what they have, it's what they become. And when you become a person of integrity, compassion, and faith, you become unstoppable. You are priceless. You are powerful. You were made for paradise. Don't sell yourself for anything less. If you're feeling that fire inside you right now, pause, breathe, and subscribe. Because this family is built for souls like yours. Souls that rise, souls that remember their worth. Every human being is born with a light inside, a sense of purpose, a natural dignity, a quiet knowing that life means something. But as we grow older, the world surrounds that light with noise, distractions, doubts, and deception. You weren't born insecure. You learned to doubt yourself. You weren't born afraid. You learned fear through rejection, failure, and pain. And somewhere between childhood dreams and adult responsibilities, most people forget who they really are. One of the greatest thieves of human worth is comparison. It begins quietly when you look at someone else's life and think, they're doing better than me. You scroll through social media, see someone smiling in a luxury car, living in a mansion, traveling to places you've only dreamed of. And suddenly your life feels small. But remember this, social media shows the highlights, not the hardships. You see the glow, not the grind. You see the success, not the sleepless nights behind it. Every time you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you rob yourself of peace. Comparison blinds you to your own blessings. It makes you forget how far you've come, how much you've grown, how many storms you've survived. Your journey is yours, sacred, unique, and perfectly timed. Stop measuring it with someone else's ruler. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. The true worth of a human being cannot be ranked because no two souls are identical. You are not in competition with anyone, only with who you were yesterday. When you focus on others, you lose sight of yourself. And when you lose sight of yourself, you start living life on autopilot, chasing what others chase, doing what others expect, becoming what others approve. But you were not born to copy, you were born to create. There's something inside you that the world has never seen before, a voice, a talent, a perspective, a purpose. If you spend your life trying to be like everyone else, the world will never experience the power of you. So stop competing, start creating, stop comparing, start becoming. Fear is another master deceiver. It disguises itself as protection, but in reality, it's a prison. Fear tells you to stay safe. Don't try that. Don't dream too big. Don't take risks. But what fear doesn't tell you is that safety often costs your soul. Fear keeps you silent when you should speak. It keeps you still when you should move. It keeps you comfortable when you should grow. You see, fear doesn't just stop you from failing. It also stops you from living. The truth is, every person who has ever done something meaningful has felt fear. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. When you choose courage over comfort, you reclaim your worth. You show the world and yourself that your dreams are more powerful than your doubts. So the next time fear whispers, "What if you fail?" Whisper back, "What if I fly?" You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to take one step. Because motion destroys fear. Every small act of bravery builds a wall of confidence inside you. Fear will always exist, but so will faith. And when faith grows louder than fear, your life begins to change. You begin to live in alignment with your true worth. The part of you that knows you were made for something more. One of the hardest prisons to escape is the need for approval. We spend so much of our lives trying to be liked, accepted, and validated by others, often by people who don't even know us deeply. We change our opinions so others will agree. We hide our dreams because others might laugh. We silence our voice because others might judge, and in the process, we lose ourselves. But here's the truth. No matter what you do, you will never please everyone. You can be the kindest, most honest, most talented person in the room, and still, someone will criticize you. So why waste your worth trying to fit into someone else's expectations? The moment you start living for applause, you hand over your power, because the same crowd that cheers for you today can turn against you tomorrow. Real confidence doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being authentic. It comes from knowing that you, walking in truth, even if no one claps for you, let go of the need to prove yourself. You have nothing to prove, only something to express. You don't need a stage to shine. You don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need followers to have value. Your worth was written long before anyone had an opinion of you. So live boldly, speak your truth with kindness, and never let the noise of the world silence the voice of your soul. Many people carry invisible chains, regrets, guilt, shame, and pain from the past. They replay old mistakes like a broken record, punishing themselves for moments that cannot be changed. But the past is not meant to imprison you. It's meant to prepare you. Every failure was a lesson. Every heartbreak was a redirection. Every closed door was protection. You are not your mistakes. You are the wisdom you gain from them. If you keep staring at the past, you'll miss the beauty of the present. Let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive others you can't. Start the next chapter if you keep rereading the last one. Your worth didn't decrease because you made mistakes. Your value didn't vanish because you fell. Even broken pieces can be turned into art. Sometimes the cracks are where the light gets in. So instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "Was this teaching me?" The past was never meant to define you. It was meant to refine you, to polish your heart, to strengthen your mind, to shape your destiny. Every scar you carry is proof that you healed. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of your future strength. There's a voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're not ready. You don't deserve this." That voice is a liar. Self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. It's the inner thief that steals your peace, your confidence, and your potential. But you know what's powerful? You can talk back to it. Every time self-doubt says you can't, respond, "Watch me." Every time it says you're not ready, respond, "I'll learn on the way." Every time it says you don't deserve it, respond, "I am enough." You see, you don't have to feel confident to act confident. Confidence is not a feeling, it's a decision. And the more you act like the person you want to become, the faster you become them. Self-doubt is like clouds. It can hide the sun, but it cannot remove it. The light within you never disappears. It only gets covered by lies you tell yourself. Remove the clouds. Remind yourself who you are. You were Kriya, Ted with purpose. You have survived everything you once thought would break you. That means you are already stronger than your fears. These are the traps: comparison, fear, validation, the past, and self-doubt that make us forget our worth. They make us live small when we were designed for greatness. But once you see them, you can rise above them, because awareness is power. And the moment you realize that you've been trapped is the same moment you become free. So today, remember, you are not your fears. You are not your mistakes. You are not your doubts. You are the one who overcomes them. You are the one who chooses growth over guilt, courage over comfort, faith over fear. And that choice, that daily decision to rise, is what restores your worth, step by step, moment by moment. Because the true worth of a human being can never be taken, only forgotten. And once remembered, it changes everything. Let me tell you something that could change your life forever. You already have everything you need to become everything you dream to be. That power you're searching for, that confidence, that strength, that peace. It's not somewhere out there. It's already inside you. The challenge is not finding your power. The challenge is remembering it, the hidden power within. From the day you were born, life placed inside you a spark, a force that can create, heal, transform, and rise above anything. But life also covers that spark with layers: fear, doubt, failure, rejection. And as those layers grow, you start forgetting how powerful you truly are. You begin to say things like, I'm not ready, I'm not strong enough. Don't have to be fearless to access it. You just have to keep moving through the fear. Every time you act despite fear, you teach your mind something powerful. I am stronger than my feelings. That's how transformation begins. One brave choice at a time. Let's talk about your mind. Your mind is the engine of your destiny. Whatever you feed it will grow. If you feed it fear, fear grows. If you feed it doubt, doubt grows. But if you feed it faith, discipline, and belief, power grows. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your instrument. You can program it to work for you instead of against you. Start by changing your words, because your words create your world. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I will. Stop saying, I'm not enough. Start saying, I'm growing every day. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. Every great change begins in the mind. Before a body moves, a thought is born. Before a mountain shifts, a belief is planted. That's why your greatest battlefield is not the world. It's your thoughts. Guard your mind like a treasure. Protect it from negativity, from toxic people, from self-sabotage. Feed it with knowledge, gratitude, and vision. Because when your mindset changes, your life follows. Belief is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. You don't attract what you wish for. You attract what you believe you deserve. If you believe you're ordinary, you'll live an ordinary life. But if you believe you're destined for greatness, you'll start walking like it, talking like it, living like it. You don't wait for belief to appear. You build it through daily action. Wake up every day, and affirm your worth. I am capable. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am unstoppable. I was created for more. The world will try to make you doubt it, but your inner voice must be louder than the outer noise. That's how powerful people live. They choose faith over fear every single day. You might not see it yet, but you're growing. You might not feel it yet, but your spirit is expanding. Every struggle you face is preparing you for the stage of your purpose. Don't let your current pain blind you to your future potential. You are becoming something incredible, something your past self could only imagine. That's the power within you. It doesn't shout, it shines, it doesn't demand, it decides. And every time you choose growth, discipline, compassion, or integrity, you strengthen that inner fire. There's a difference between living from pressure and living from power. When you live from pressure, you chase. You try to prove your worth, impress people, fill the emptiness inside. But when you live from power, you radiate. You don't chase, you attract. You don't perform, you embody. You don't beg for validation, you live with purpose. That's the shift that changes everything, because power doesn't scream, it stands, it's calm, it's steady, it's confident. You don't need to announce who you are. Your energy speaks for you. And that's the energy of someone who knows their worth. There's a fire in your heart that life has been trying to dim. But you are not meant to live small. You were meant to stand tall, to rise higher, to shine brighter. The power within you is not waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to believe it exists, believe in your light, act from your truth, and never forget the true worth of a human being is not found in what they achieve, but in the power they awaken within themselves. You are not powerless. You are not lost. You are becoming, and the world is waiting for the full expression of your greatness. Because deep inside you lives a force that no failure can break, no fear can silence, and no circumstance can erase. That is your power. That is your worth. That is you. If you're feeling that fire inside you right now, pause, breathe, and subscribe. Because this family is built for souls like yours. Souls that rise, souls that remember their worth. Failure. It's a word that terrifies most people. It's a word that makes dreams crumble, hearts break, and hope fade. But listen to me carefully. Failure is not your enemy. Failure is your teacher. You don't fall to stay down. You fall to rise higher than before. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you've worked hard, believed deeply, sacrificed everything. and still watched it all fall apart. The dream you built shattered. The people you trusted walked away. The confidence you once had, gone. And in that silence, in that emptiness, you whispered to yourself, maybe I'm not meant for this. But I want you to remember this truth. The fall is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your becoming, because only through the breaking do we discover what we're truly made of. Every great person you admire has walked through failure. Every success you see in the world was built on a foundation of defeat, rejection, and heartbreak. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling faced rejection from 12 publishers before Harry Potter changed the world. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison before becoming a symbol of freedom. Failure didn't define them. Their response did, and that's the power you have too, the power to respond. When failure hits you, you have two options. You can surrender to it, or you can rise from it. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. Pain is inevitable, yes, but suffering is optional. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control what you do next. And that decision, what you do next, defines your destiny. Because every time you rise after a fall, you reclaim a piece of your worth. You prove to yourself that your spirit cannot be defeated. That's when you stop living as a victim of your past and start becoming the author of your future. Let's get one thing clear. Failure does not mean you are worthless. Failure means you tried. It means you stepped out of comfort, dared to dream, dared to risk. People who never fail are people who never try. So if you have failed, celebrate that. It means you were brave enough to begin. You cannot evolve without mistakes. You cannot grow without falling. The tree that stands strong has faced countless storms, and so will you. So how do you rise again when life breaks you? Step one, accept the fall. Stop pretending everything's fine when it's not. Stop blaming others or yourself. Sit with your pain, acknowledge it, and then release it. Healing begins when honesty enters the room. Step two, learn from it. Every failure carries a hidden lesson, a secret key. But only those who pause and reflect can find it. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What can I do differently next time? And most importantly, what version of me must I become to rise higher? Because failure isn't about what you lost, it's about what you're being prepared to gain. Music softens, voice slows. Step three, rebuild with faith. Not blind faith, not fantasy, but faith rooted in reality. Faith that says, I've been through worse and I'm still here. Faith that whispers, this pain has purpose. Every wound you carry can either poison you or polish you. The choice is yours. Let your pain make you wiser, not bitter. Let your fall make you humbler, not hopeless. Because the moment you decide to stand again, your strength doubles. The art of rising isn't about never falling. It's about mastering the comeback. It's about standing tall with scars and saying, yes, I've been broken, but not destroyed. When you rise, rise with gratitude. Gratitude that you're still breathing. Gratitude that you still have another chance, because every sunrise is proof that darkness never wins. You might have lost money, time, people. But as long as you haven't lost yourself, you haven't lost everything. The true tragedy isn't falling. It's forgetting who you are while you're down. And who are you? You are the one whose true worth is paradise. You were never meant to sell your soul for failure, rejection, or pain. You were meant to rise. Listen, there's greatness inside you that failure cannot erase. There's light in you that darkness cannot dim. The fact that you've fallen means life is inviting you to rise. Stronger, wiser, deeper. You may feel like you're standing in ruins, but remember, even ruins can rebuild into masterpieces. The phoenix doesn't fear the fire, it becomes it. And you are that phoenix. To rise after failure, you must master your mind. Because when the world gives up on you, your thoughts become your lifeline. Feed your mind with power, not pity, with lessons, not losses. Wake up and tell yourself, I am not finished. This is not how my story ends. I will rise again. Because resilience is built through repetition. The repetition of choosing to stand no matter how many times you fall. Remember, the comeback always costs something. It will cost you your comfort zone. It will cost you your excuses. It will cost you your old self. But the reward, the reward is freedom. freedom from the chains of self-doubt, freedom from the fear of failure, freedom to live boldly again. Because once you've rebuilt yourself after being broken, nothing in this world can shake you the same way again. You were not created for mediocrity. You were not created to stay stuck in regret. You were created for greatness. You were designed to grow, to inspire, to shine. Failure may have whispered that you're not enough, but your existence shouts otherwise. You are a divine creation. Your soul carries the blueprint of paradise. That means your worth is infinite. So don't sell yourself for temporary comfort, fake approval, or fleeting applause. Don't trade eternal purpose for short-term pleasure. Don't exchange your spiritual wealth for material crumbs. Your true worth is not measured by your bank account, your fame, or your followers. It's measured by your heart, your growth, and your faith. You are more valuable than every success and every failure combined. So stand tall again. Breathe again. Dream again, because your story isn't over. It's just getting powerful. Every scar you carry is a signature of survival. Every tear you've shed watered the seed of your next victory. You are not behind, you are being refined. And the version of you that's about to emerge will thank the version of you that refused to quit. So rise. Rise from the pain. Rise from the fear. Rise from the ashes of yesterday. Because your worth was never destroyed. It was only waiting to be remembered. And when you remember it, you'll walk with a confidence that can't be bought, a peace that can't be shaken, and a faith that no failure can break. You'll walk knowing this truth. The true worth of a human being is paradise, and you will never sell yourself for anything less. Every single one of us came into this world with a reason. You were not born by accident. You were not created without meaning. You are here, alive, breathing, thinking, because life itself chose you for a purpose. And that purpose is the key to your power, your peace, and your legacy. But here's the truth. Most people never answer that call. They live, they exist, they survive, but they never truly live with purpose. They wake up, go to work, pay bills, scroll screens, chase approval, and call it life. But deep down, something keeps whispering, there's more. That whisper is not imagination. It's your soul trying to remind you of who you were meant to be. You were created to build, not just breathe, to impact, not just exist, to serve, not just survive. Because when you live with purpose, you don't just pass time, you transform it. Purpose doesn't come from comfort. Purpose is born in reflection, in silence, in struggle. It shows up when you start asking deeper questions. Why am I here? What am I meant to give to this world? What difference will my life make when I'm gone? Those questions, they shake you awake, they burn away distractions and bring your soul back into focus. Because your purpose isn't found in your possessions. It's found in your contribution. Here's what separates those who merely exist from those who leave a legacy. Legacy thinkers don't just chase success, they chase significance. Success is about you. Legacy is about others. Success ends when you die. Legacy begins when you die. When you live for yourself, your story ends with you. But when you live for others, your story continues long after you're gone. The greatest souls in history weren't just dreamers, they were givers. They understood that the real value of life is measured by how much of yourself you give away. Your smile, your kindness, your wisdom, your time, your love, that's what echoes through eternity. You want to know what real success feels like? It's the peace that comes from knowing you mattered, that someone's life is better because you existed, that your presence brought light to dark places, that your words healed where silence once hurt. That's legacy, that's purpose, and that's power. But how do I find my purpose, you may ask? You don't find it, you discover it. It's not hiding outside you, it's waiting inside you. Your purpose lives in the intersection of three things. 1, what you love. 2, what you're good at. 3, what the world needs. When passion meets skill and serves a need, purpose is born. Maybe your purpose is to inspire. Maybe it's to teach. Maybe it's to heal, to protect, to create, to lead, to build. It doesn't have to be famous. It just has to be faithful, because the size of your stage doesn't define the size of your impact. Some of the greatest heroes the world never knew changed lives quietly through love, service, and integrity. Let me tell you this. Every day you live without purpose drains your soul, but every day you live with purpose, even your smallest act carries eternal meaning. The smile you give, the kindness you show, the words you speak, they all ripple through lives you may never see. You were not sent here to take, you were sent here to give. And when you give from the heart, the universe multiplies it back to you 100-fold. But let's be honest, The world tries to make you forget your purpose. It fills your mind with noise. It makes you chase likes, fame, validation, money. It tells you, you need to be more, have more, show more. And in that endless chase, you lose sight of what truly matters. You lose yourself. So here's the truth. The purpose-driven life is not about doing more. It's about being more, being present, being authentic, being aligned with your values, because no amount of success can replace peace, and no amount of applause can fill a soul that's living off purpose. You want peace? Live aligned with your purpose. You want fulfillment? Serve something greater than yourself. Because life without purpose feels heavy, confusing, empty. But life with purpose feels alive, grounded, divine. You start to realize every moment matters. Every breath counts. Every act of kindness echoes in eternity. That's the kind of life that makes heaven smile. The greatest purpose you can live is to serve. Serve with your gifts. Serve with your strength. Serve with your heart. Don't wait for the perfect platform. Start where you are with what you have, because when you serve others, you awaken your higher self. You tap into a part of your soul that no failure can touch. The more you give, the more you grow. The more you help others rise, the higher you rise yourself. You were never meant to CLI. Be alone. You were meant to lift while you climb. Imagine this world if everyone lived with purpose, if everyone used their talents to make life better for others. If everyone gave love instead of judgment, faith instead of fear, hope instead of hate. That's what purpose does. It transforms not just your life, but the lives around you. It turns existence into experience. It turns survival into significance. It turns humans into healers. And that's the true legacy of a meaningful life. Legacy doesn't begin when you're old or gone. It begins now, in the choices you make today. Every decision builds your legacy. Every act of integrity writes your story. You don't need to change the whole world. Just change one life, and the ripple will reach the rest. Because legacies aren't written in monuments. They're written in moments, moments of courage, moments of compassion, moments when you chose. Love over ego, truth over comfort, faith over fear. Those are the moments heaven remembers. So I ask you, what legacy are you building? Will people remember what you earned or who you were? Will your story inspire others to live with meaning or warn them of wasted time? Don't wait for permission to live with purpose. Don't wait for a perfect day to begin. The perfect moment is this one, right here, right now, because every heartbeat is a divine opportunity to live with intention, with love, with worth. And remember this truth. The true worth of a human being is paradise. That means your purpose isn't small, it's sacred. It's connected to something eternal. Every good deed you do, every act of service, every kind word, they are not forgotten. They are seeds being planted for paradise itself. So never sell yourself short. Never chase things that make you forget your divine worth. You were created for greatness beyond this world. Let your purpose remind you of that heaven within. Live each day with meaning. Walk with integrity. Serve with compassion. Love without fear. Because when you live with purpose, you don't just exist. You elevate. You inspire others to believe again. You leave footprints that time cannot erase. And one day, when your journey ends, the world will say, this person didn't just live. They gave. They loved. They led. And that is the legacy of a soul that knew its worth. If you're feeling that fire inside you right now, pause, breathe, and subscribe. Because this family is built for souls like yours. Souls that rise, souls that remember their worth. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must look in the mirror, not at their reflection, but at their soul. A moment when you ask yourself, who am I? Why am I here? And what is my worth? And when you listen closely, beneath the noise, beneath the doubts, beneath the scars, a voice inside you whispers the answer. Your true worth is paradise. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the labels the world has given you. You are a divine creation, a masterpiece of purpose, crafted by the hands of eternity. You carry within you the breath of the infinite. Your spirit wrapped in skin, potential wrapped in pain, destiny wrapped in time. That's who you are. And that's why your worth can never be measured in numbers, titles, or possessions. You were made for something higher, something eternal. But somewhere along the way, we forget. We start selling pieces of our soul for temporary applause. We trade peace for popularity. We trade authenticity for acceptance. We trade purpose for convenience. And every time we do, we lose a little more of ourselves. But listen to me. You were never meant to be cheap. You were never meant to be ordinary. Your soul is priceless. Your worth is paradise. Every day, life will try to convince you to settle for less. Less peace, less love, less truth. The world will whisper, just fit in, just survive, just be like everyone else. But greatness has never come from comfort, and paradise has never been for sale. You cannot walk toward eternity while clinging to temporary things. So don't sell your soul for approval. Don't trade your faith for fame. Don't sacrifice your values for validation, because what you gain in that trade will never fill what you lose. Look around. People are selling themselves every day, their peace, their honesty, their dreams for the illusion of success. They forget that the value of gold fades, but the value of character lasts forever. They forget that the world can give you attention, but only truth can give you meaning. So I say to you, stand apart, rise above, be the one who remembers your worth when the world forgets it. You don't need to lower your standards to fit in. You need to raise your vision to stand out, because your value doesn't decrease just because someone else can't see it. When I say the true worth of a human being is paradise, I don't mean it as poetry, I mean it as truth. You are worth the highest reward in existence. The eternal peace, the boundless love, the infinite joy of the divine. If heaven itself is the price for your soul, why would you trade it for something temporary? Why sell eternity for a moment? Why sell peace for pressure? Why sell your soul for shadows? You were made for light, not noise. You were made for eternity, not trends. You were made for paradise, not popularity. So walk with dignity, speak with truth, love with compassion, live with purpose, because the way you live is a reflection of how much you value your soul. When you walk in self-respect, you say to the world, I know my worth, and it's not for sale. When you walk with faith, you say, I may fall, but I will never forget who I am. And when you live for something eternal, you rise above everything temporary. Remember this, the greatest tragedy in life is not failure, it's forgetting your worth. You can recover from mistakes. You can rebuild from loss. But once you forget who you are, you become lost in the noise of the world. So hold your soul close. Guard it like a diamond in the dust. Never let greed, fear, or vanity stain its shine. Never let someone else's opinion define your identity, because you were created for greatness that no one can give you and no one can take away. There will be days when life tests you, days when you feel unseen, unloved, unworthy. But in those moments, remember, your worth was never built on the opinions of others. It was established by the one who created you. You were worth creating. You were worth forgiving. You were worth saving. You are worth paradise, and nothing, not failure, not heartbreak, not loss, can ever take that from you. So rise again, rise with faith, rise with strength, rise with purpose. And every time you feel like settling, remind yourself, I am not for sale. Don't sell your dreams for comfort. Don't sell your peace for distraction. Don't sell your values for vanity. You came into this world with divine potential. Don't leave it unused, because one day, when you stand at the end of your journey, it won't be your possessions that matter. It will be your purpose, your integrity, your love, your legacy. So live boldly, love deeply, serve passionately, forgive freely. Let your life be a message to the world that no temptation, no failure, no darkness can buy your soul, because you know your worth, and your worth is paradise. Say it with me, my worth is paradise. I will not sell myself for less. I was created for greatness. I will live with honor, faith, and purpose. Let your heart feel those words. Let your actions reflect them. Let your life prove them. Because when you walk in your divine worth, you become unstoppable, unbreakable, unforgettable. You become the light the world desperately needs. And one day, when this world fades away and every treasure turns to dust, your soul will stand radiant, untouched, unbroken, eternal, because you never sold yourself for less. You remembered your true worth. You live for something higher. You live for paradise. So wherever you are today, whatever your past looks like, whatever pain you carry, lift your head, straighten your back, and remember these words until your final breath. The true worth of a human being is paradise. Paradise, paradise. Do not sell yourself for anything less than paradise. Before the session ends, hit subscribe, not for me, but for the message you carry within you. Together, we rise. One soul at a time, one dream at a time.